A person with a hot temper and a poisonous mouth, no matter how good his mind is, will make others afraid and stay away. So even if you have enough reason, you should be gentle with a bit of logic, but the spirit should be even. Once forgiveness is a blessing, the wider the heart, the greater the blessing will be when you want to criticize first. So check if you have completed your meditation or have any mistakes, then say if you encounter a problem of talking too much. By speaking less, speaking less. By speaking at the right time, don't be too harsh with the wrong person, but stay away from those who refuse to accept and remember to correct mistakes, but look again. Especially being generous the second time is tolerant, the third time will turn into weakness. Don't be afraid to work too much. Just be afraid that being busy with too many things will avoid gossip. Being too free will not have meaningful joy. Don't be afraid of being stabbed in the back. Just worry about turning around and seeing the person you once treated with all sincerity. Don't be afraid to confide your feelings to friends. Just be afraid that as soon as you turn your back and turn away, they will be turned into a joke in someone else's relationship. What do you think the highest act of communication is towards the person who is closest to you? Still maintain attitude, respect, and patience. Knowing how to resolve sadness is wisdom. Being able to share love is happiness. Just remember that the brightest is the sun, the greatest grace is the parent, a gentleman is generous. Small people often calculate. You will have the appropriate behavior in life. The 7-time people who don't have time to spend with loved ones will sooner or later have to spend time in solitude. People who don't have time to rest will sooner or later have to spend time on illness. People who don't have time for exercise will sooner or later, in the end, you have to spend time to lose weight. Time is fair to everyone. If you use it now, you will have to make up for it at another time. Life is like a game of chess, and your opponent is the time of the fiercest struggle. Sometimes it is measured in minutes and seconds of decisions. Words are just moments, but sometimes using all the remaining time cannot make up for it. Just like when a dying person spends his entire fortune, he cannot get back even a single breath. So when you are healthy, you still have time. You should try to do what you have useful and necessary. Don't lose it and then regret it later in life. Wisdom sayings. Don't wait for others to help you economically because money is not enough for everyone, so learn to give. Friends helping each other is a good thing. It's moral. If they don't help, it's normal. Don't feel resentful because no one owes you anything. Train yourself to be independent, resilient, optimistic, and happy because after all, only you are directly related to your own life and death. Learn perseverance. Kwong should never look at the rich or poor to make friends, even if they have tens of thousands of dollars. It has nothing to do with you. Don't turn yourself into someone else's servant. In this world, there are people who, even if they only have a cake, can break it in half for you. You have to learn to look at the person you can trust. In this world, there is still that kind of love that is pure and loyal, but it only belongs to Niu Lang, Chuk Nu Luong Son Ba, Chuk Andai, or Romeo and Juliet, because they all die very early and we live longer. So we know how to preserve it. Don't overdo it. Stubborn about anything. This world is not just for you. This planet is not for you alone. So don't try to cling to what you have too much. We are just travelers born in this world with nothing. Bringing nothing when we die, we can't take anything with us. So learn to let go of a few feelings. Money is for spending enough to make ends meet. It's a blessing. Too much will turn into worries and insecurity. Home is for shelter. Don't turn into a burden in life, no matter how big or small the person living there is. Feel happy to have a house. It doesn't matter where there are fragrant flowers, and long grass is the best location. Vehicles are means of transportation. Don't turn them into tools to show off. Drive doesn't matter. As long as you go safely and come home happily, you will gain prestige. It's not a privilege. Having moderate status is a blessing, because if the reputation is too high, too strong, it's difficult to rest in peace. The capital to nourish people is also a form of medicine. Don't waste too much, eat enough. Too much nutrition will harm the body. Of oneself, man lives a final life. The realization that life doesn't necessarily have to be rich and wealthy, but just that every day that passes has meaning. Happiness does not come from comparing with others, but using the mind to slowly feel the joy of stability does not come from the outside, but comes from the inside of each person. People are very simple, but also very scary. An honest heart can tolerate everything. A cruel heart can harm countless people. If you are too mischievous, others will stay away and work too harshly. Make people complain about anything. If you fight to the end, if you have a little advantage, try to fight for it all. In the end, what is lost is the human heart, and you also become cowardly. So when faced with money and evil interests, you should be a little foolish so as not to lose peace. When faced with calculating meaning, and knows that being a little foolish will not be ashamed of your heart. When competing for fame and fortune, be a little foolish so as not to be tired of receiving false rumors. You need to be a little foolish so as not to get into people's hands. No one is perfect. Every individual has it. A different style, even though there are admirers. Guess who is not brave but deep inside Tim? Everyone hopes that they will not get caught up in gossip and quarrels. People who truly have wisdom will not live too cleverly all day long, scheming all kinds of things. They will be a little foolish to maintain honesty and stay away from struggles that have no end. Life is short. Only knowing how to be satisfied will be able to navigate through the chaos of life. Knowing how to be a little foolish will be free to keep a little sincerity, looking at the faults of others. It is not good to blame others for your own shortcomings. It is not good to use your mind. No one else's self-esteem is the same as anyone else's. Don't try to push your opponent into a dead end. You can't make them take the dead end. You'll only harm yourself. Retreat and stare at the good and bad things. The world can't make anyone lose anything. It'll only make you no longer have time to look up. The sky is too high and the world is wide. People are too domineering. You won't have friends. Being too selfish will only make you tired. Only love can create friendship. When you have time, sit still and reflect on your mistakes. Don't comment on good and bad things. People speak, even if not directly harms the body, but is very easy to cause harm. The evil karma of the mouth is nothing greater than the crime of slander. So be careful when opening your mouth and avoid saying things that are not true. Even if it's a joke, you should be moderate in denouncing others. Don't say anything. Keep a little bit of your mouth. Duck. Scold others. Remember, don't be too cruel. Keep a little tolerance, even if it's reasonable. Don't pursue the dead end. Keep a little leniency in dealing with things. Don't do things too harshly. Maintain a way out, accept others, and open up opportunities for yourself. Being sympathetic to your surroundings will help you become more generous. A tolerant person is because they know how to use a kind heart to treat a person of good quality, because they always show respect. To others, a cultivated person is shown through a gentle attitude towards everyone and knowing how to think of others. Only by being worthy of everyone's attention and respecting the other person can life respect you. Use a gentle mind to treat everyone. Then your heart will naturally become relaxed without fighting or competing, without worry or fear. Cultivating kindness in daily relationships, everything is there. It's certain cause and effect between people. If you see people as bodhisattvas, they will be saintly people. If you see others as devils, they will become scary characters, just like looking in the mirror. If you look at your mouth smiling, you will get a happy face. As for Chow, with gloomy eyebrows, you will see a sad face between friends. The same if you treat them with respect, because they will respond gently and politely. As if they were contemptuous and yelling will receive dissatisfaction and contempt. So in life, when dealing with When dealing with friends, you should be sincere towards them. If you always keep a good mind and deal with people, they will gradually feel and respond accordingly in their hearts filled with good things. The quality of life will also be enhanced. From the mind to the state of life, depending on the mind, the kindness in the heart will be large enough to appear on the surface and spread to the surrounding, leading to sweet results. Good music. The most important thing a person lives in life. What is important? Most importantly, some people say that a car is a home. Because of it, many people have to waste their health and become mentally depressed. When you no longer have the keys to your car, you buy someone else's house. Someone else will live with you. Your money is made by someone else. So in life, what is the most important thing? Some people say it's status, and reputation. Because of status, many people have to pursue every day. Because of power, they fight endlessly. Because of vanity, they think of hundreds of plans. Then when you no longer care about your high or low status, who cares about your low status? Sang I wonders more or less reputation 100 years later. Money, gold, silver, white cars, big houses, high jobs, fame and fortune cannot be carried with the rich. The poor all become ashes. The rich and the poor all only have one grave, whether male or female, a handful of dry bones. That's why it is said that everything is not important. Living well every day is what is necessary. Maintaining your health, eating moderately, sowing seeds of goodness, peace, joy, deep love, before a life of peace and warmth. How many people are there in life when you succeed, and when you fail, no one asks about it? That's a person's life. Long time no see, still important. Ask H in your heart to be truly warm, even though you're busy and hard. Still remember to think about yourself. You should cherish and protect your loved ones and never leave them, no matter what happens. Don't be ungrateful. People who are hot and bad are not worth caring about. Love in the world is like that. Pretending to receive fake love. Sincerity is the only way to feel the warmth of others. When in trouble, you can see the warmth and cold of life. Only when you need it you can see clearly. Truly gracious, no matter what happens, people should be tolerant, but don't cover up. For feelings, you should be sincere, but don't fall in love. If that doesn't work, it's not possible. You should know how to retreat if you don't. If you are grown, you need to learn to turn your back on the scenery. It's okay if you can't see it. If your feelings don't reciprocate, don't be stubborn. Don't be stubborn. Time shouldn't be wasted on meaningless feelings. Remember, don't put your life in places that aren't worthy of your life. Every page written in this world may be a lot to look at you, but very few will understand you. People who talk about you may be many, but help you even less. Meetings that can be trusted a lot, but they are very few. In the end, tears have to wipe away the pain themselves. Yourself accept that if no one understands, then try your best. If no one helps you, then try harder. Pray that everything goes as expected. Just hope that you don't feel ashamed. If it's normal, speak up if you don't have to say it. If not, then keep silent. That's also a smart group. Whatever you should do, do it with all your heart. If not, then withdraw. It's a form of understanding. If you want to express it clearly. Otherwise, refuge is a form of wisdom that people can trust, but don't expect to suddenly filter it and accept it. Otherwise, don't accept it. If not, then don't. So, enjoy the path step by step to go through every feeling, wish by wish to form a person's life, page by page to write so no one will have trouble all their life. No one will have a lifetime without suffering. Just keep the relics, see, everything will be good. Music, in my opinion. Sometimes a bad word can lead to conflict. A good sentence can give birth to many good things. Sometimes it takes 100,000 words to advise a person, but sometimes just one sentence is enough to destroy everything. Therefore, every word uttered must be given utmost importance. Only by thinking carefully do we hope to have no regrets. Everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. Just learn things and limit criticism. Anyone can become a teacher to help themselves improve. Pay attention to other people's strengths all day long, then admire and be jealous. Just by taking a look at yourself and then seriously learning. Keep thinking and scheming and hoping that others will not be as good as you, instead of silently trying to make yourself stronger. Sometimes looking back at the things that used to make you sad and dull, it's not worth having. When reviewing things makes us suffer and pretend to be as light as a passing breeze, so when encountering anything, we should not be hasty, try to be stubborn, be a little calm. Calm a little, think a little. There is nothing in this world that can't be lightened. Music. Let go of the differences of crying and seeing tiredness. Try changing your perspective on life under pressure. Try changing the environment to breathe if you're skeptical. Try changing your position, then evaluate. Still hesitant, try changing the direction of your choice. When you're upset, change your life if you're in trouble. Try changing your thinking to resolve resentment. Change your method to deal with low self-esteem. Try changing your thinking when change your perspective a little. Maybe you will discover a lot of different things. Preserve your trust. Dare to confide wholeheartedly. You are a friend. Remember, don't spread the word. Dare to lend money. Be someone who trusts you. Remember, don't be disloyal. Dare to show your weakness. Be someone who trusts you. Remember, don't hurt anyone, no matter if it's intimacy, friendship, or love. Everyone is afraid of sending sincerely and receiving in return the support that puts the utmost trust in you and ends up empty-handed. With all my heart, I believe someone is giving their whole heart, so you need to be very careful. If you put it in the wrong place, it will turn into a weapon that will come back and stab you. In life, if you want to be trusted, make yourself worthy. If you keep your trust, everyone wants to be friends. If you are serious, everyone will rely on you. If you are sincere enough, life will volunteer to put all your trust in your thoughts. No matter how bad your mood is, remember not to write it on your face because no one wants to read it. No matter how tiring your work is, don't blame yourself. Breathe instead of having someone do it for you. Where are your circumstances? Even though you are poor and miserable, Tan is also, don't complain cowardly about difficulties because no one gives you money for no reason. Even if you're disappointed, don't give up. Think about the expectations of your parents and relatives. Keep trying. Even if you're discouraged, don't give up because the problem isn't your job. It's you. Appreciate each choice you make. Even if it's difficult, don't complain. Because everyone has their own things that can't help you forever. So be strong and enjoy what you're doing. Even if you're frustrated, don't be pessimistic and lose your will because no one is born with it. Can solve everything completely. You have to try your best with each job. Don't rush to think you're alone. In fact, very few people understand what loneliness is. There are relatives and friends who have never experienced it. Dong said life is lonely. Where does it come from? When you're sad or tired, you should know how to comfort yourself. If there's no one to worry, you have to be stronger. No one to cheer you up. You have to know how to fly without anyone to admire you. You also need to be fragrant and neat. Observe the grass at your feet, the flowers on the roadside, and the leaves on the tree of life, even though humble, but they live real lives. The beauty of life, even if it is impermanent and short, should not be underestimated by money because no one can buy good health. Having time should look at the vast rivers and mountains. To relax your mind, don't be too harsh with the things around you because everything that exists has its own reason. Don't comment on others, especially people you don't understand. We only have the right to rush towards the people next to us. When we are angry, we should not talk because later we often regret the words we accidentally uttered, so we should forgive them. The person who once hurt me, but don't give them the chance to repeat the same mistake. Even if life is hard and tiring, don't lose your confidence, because beautiful things are ahead. Quality, whether noble or extremely corrupt. Remember to treat your parents with filial piety, because tomorrow you will definitely become old and weak. Don't forget the people who help you. Don't hate the person you once loved. Never lie to the person who trusts you. Practice living according to fate. Between people, things can be close or far, things can be complicated, and things can be simple. The feelings between each other can be deep or deep. Don't expect people to treat you special. Don't expect them to have less faith in life. Some people talk less and do more. Some people will only know how to wave their arms and legs. Don't be too concerned, just manage your own affairs well. Do what needs to be done. Follow the right path. Maintain honesty. Meditate. Cultivate sincerity. Be tolerant with everyone. Be strict with yourself. And for the rest, follow the karma, and you'll get what Buddha once said to the unlucky person. No matter how many words you say, it's superfluous. But if you have karma, just need it. Export. Now you can also awaken all their senses. There are some things that are black and white and have become the past. Some people are angry for a few days and have become a thing of the past. There are pains that have just been laughed and melted into bubbles. There are situations where, thanks to a little pain, they become resilient. Sometimes today is a big thing. Tomorrow, looking back, it will be insignificant. This year, next year, it will be important. Next year, it will become a minor thing. Great things in this life and the next. People consider them to be legends. Each of us is at best just a story. The story of a person. If you encounter something unsatisfactory in life or work, tell yourself today will pass. Tomorrow will come. Let go of everything to start a new day. It's not that you don't pay attention, but paying attention won't do anything. Life doesn't exist. There are only consequences. How you accept your life is up to you. Other people can't decide for you. When you grow up, you will know how to face everything with a smile. Music is indispensable even for living. Even if the tree is tall, it is indispensable. Regardless of Hui Huang's origin, can't forget in life, people need to remember the people who lent money to us when we were poor, lacking people to help us support ourselves in difficult times, people who shared sweets with bui when we were suffering, people who cooked rice and mixed medicine when we were sick, people who truly loved us even though we had nothing, people who patiently guided us when we didn't know anything. If we always remember gratitude, we will win people's hearts, people who will please people will respect us, people who respect us. There must be quality in life. What do you care about in life? If you take money as the center, you will be very VV. If watching children is everything, you will be tired. If you think love is the reason for life, you will receive pain and suffering. If you consider winning or losing as a goal, you will always be unstable. If you use tolerance as a way of life, you will feel happy. If you take enough as a criterion, you will always be happy. If you turn gratitude into motivation, you will become music, the level of kindness. In life, sometimes people look down on you just because you are too easy to screw up at work. Just ask for your help. Just ask, and you will let them forgive you for any mistake. Through any pain, you will endure it. So you know that there are things in life. People who are used to receiving things will forget to thank them and think you are strong, so there is no need to worry. Seeing you are generous, not maintaining your honesty is a good thing, but you should know how to apply it to the right people in the right place. If you keep ignoring yourself to care for others, no one will care about your feelings. You won't be disadvantaged. It's a blessing, but sometimes you have to know how to express it. Otherwise, people will only see you as a naive person who can do anything wrong. Being virtuous is not being stupid. Being moral is not being stupid. Everyone has thoughts and directions. You should know how to express yourself, keep self-respect for yourself, and the value of the qualities you pursue. A good karma. The word karma includes a lot of coincidences, but to maintain it, it requires a lot of things. Of course, a good karma is not about leaving a good impression in the other person's heart at the first meeting, but knowing each other for a long time. That person still wants to stay at the table until the last floor. A good karma is not about attracting the other person with her appearance, kiu diem, but when she understands each other well enough, she still feels fond of each other's personalities. That music a good fate. No need to regret meeting each other too late, but going through so many ups and downs. That person still feels that knowing you is a good thing. A good fate does not need to come early, but once it comes, it will not leave again, because both sides know how to cherish and maintain a sincere friend. Don't rush into love affairs. Commenting on experiencing hardships, you can clearly see the sincerity in life. When you fall to the abyss, you know who rolls the stones to fill the cave. Who is the one who helps you support yourself? A sincere friend is someone who can accompany you from the dark night until the sun comes up. It's someone who volunteers to cover for you when it rains. It's someone who stays until the last moment when everyone has left. Such friendship is very precious and also very rare. Only those who live sincerely will one day meet friends who don't discuss how much they are precious in companionship in rain and sunshine. Short, long, and important discussions are possible when needed. Relying on the so-called heavy meaning is that if you need only me, if you have it, you will have what is called deep love. It is not the time to proudly promise everything, but the important thing is to be able to reach out your hand to support during weekdays. You can play the card game Farbat, but when there are difficulties, it is only through tolerance and suffering that you will be your friend. Flirting people are not necessarily sincere when needed, but always and consistently. It is worth cultivating thanks to a good predestined relationship that does not depend on the time a beautiful friendship comes. I won't leave again if it's fate. Even if you invite someone to come to you, it's already ungrateful. If you force it, you won't be respected by someone who doesn't respect you. Even if you swear to meet the sea, you'll still turn your back on someone who's sincere with you and doesn't promise anything. Still considerately sticking to this matter of fate. Living with all your heart and the rest following nature is still the best if you have it. A mindset, you will live an open life. If you don't have a peaceful heart, you will have a self-reliant lifestyle. If you have the concept of compassion in your heart, you will do many good things. If you cultivate a grateful heart, you will feel happier. Be aware of the law of cause and effect. Decisions will become wise if you know when to give in. This life will be more joyful. If you maintain a simple heart, everything that comes will be very simple. If you forge a habit of reflection, every day you will be more awake. The important thing is still, when you are heartbroken and weak, have someone come to share and protect you. The most precious thing is not the material things you own, but the people who accompany you. We absolutely cannot force others to love us. We can only make ourselves become a person worthy of being loved. When we were children, we thought that bleeding was a very terrible thing, so whether it hurts or not, we burst into tears first, then we grow up, and then we understand that when tears fall, it hurts much more than the actual bleeding in this world. Besides life and death, everything is a small thing starting from today. No matter what trouble you encounter, don't tell yourself no matter how many bad things you receive, don't feel sad because after all, there is still tomorrow. Today is just a transition. Remember the saying that the harder you try, the luckier you will be, and you will overcome everything. Life is a bunch of small patches put together. Half of them are women, half are angels, the other half are devils, half are men, half are gentlemen, the other half are monsters. Animal friends, half is suitable, the other half needs respect. Half of respecting marriage comes from cultivating, the other half needs to accept the family, half needs to give, the other half is to receive love, half is to reciprocate half, the other half needs to preserve the couple. Half needs to be tolerant, the other half needs to take care of children, half is talent, half the other half is due to nurturing parents. Half needs to be hiu thuan, the other half needs to be close to work, half is luck. The other half needs to try for money. Half is happiness, half is worries about life, half is memories, half the other half. The need to continue to be happy is half a feeling. The other half is thanks to knowing enough dreams. One half is courage, the other half is an illusion of life. Half needs to be alert, the other half needs a bit of stupidity. Music. No need to be stubborn. Phi is misunderstood by people without distinguishing whether Tran is generous or fake. Time will give the best answer. Being hurt by others without complaining is kindness, love, life changes. Time will prove that everyone who has been slandered by people without being sad has cultivated good and bad qualities. Time will shine a clear light. It's not because of you that waiting is sometimes better than each other. Seeing through so many things, the important thing is that you know how to take things lightly. Your heart is big or narrow. It doesn't depend on knowing people a lot or a little, but you can tolerate those who accept disadvantages. It doesn't mean that sooner or later the loss will be compensated. Worthy of those who give in don't lose anything other than self-respect. They also gain people's hearts. Therefore, the more you respect music, open your heart to forgive. In life, there will be things that don't go your way, and you'll have to meet people who don't agree with you. If you can't take it lightly and ignore it, you will living in trouble and fatigue between people due to different knowledge, different concepts, different cultivation, different ways of looking at and handling problems. So sometimes there is conflict. Conflict or conflict with each other is also normal. At such times, forgiveness becomes a way to practice, but it is an example that can protect you and help you move forward in the wind and rain. Tell your heart to forgive others. Sometimes it requires a little sacrifice, a generous heart or a little disadvantage. That is complete, absolutely not weak or weak. If you're tired, let your path be wider and more open. Party life is like the sky that can't always be clear for you to compare, but sometimes it will be gloomy and make you depressed. Life can't always give you luck and happiness. Sometimes it will make you taste all the bitter, sweet trees. So open your heart and practice the third wave to walk past the people and things that make you sad. You will find yourself standing high and looking far away at the bottom of the horizon, entangled with human greed. Usually because of watching too much. If we care too much about our own desires, we have to pay too much attention to the reactions of others. When our wishes are not satisfied, we immediately feel pity. The greater our greed, the weaker we will become. The more we pay attention to our own interests, the more calculations we will have. The more we want to gain, the greater the loss will be. The hurt also comes from desire. If our greed is small, others will not be able to predict it and take advantage of it to serve their goals. If we can get rid of greed, bother. If the brain has no place to cling to, it will have to leave on its own, and we will be free to be sad and happy when others are happy. A little flattery is enough. Don't rush to assume it's true because most of the flattery is to win people's hearts. Don't let those sweet words hit you when criticized by others. If you're a little sad, that's okay. Don't ever express your anger because more or less there's something you've done. That's what correcting BBTH is necessary. If life is really painful, you won't have time to let it go. Lament. If life is too miserable, where will you find the strength? To blame because everything has not yet reached the extreme level. You are still in the mood to cry and celebrate, no matter where you are, or always remember that you live for yourself. So whatever you do, just don't be ashamed to fulfill your personal duty to receive your destiny from within. When you choose the path, that is also the time when you decide your destiny. Don't worry too much about the past. Live fully in the present and look towards the future. Tomorrow will definitely become beautiful. turn your destiny. Complain to others by singing, envy others by looking down on yourself, by admiring others, by wasting yourself, by resenting others, by resenting yourself, by deceiving others, by deceiving yourself, by deceiving yourself, by being untrustworthy of others, by destroying yourself, by entangling others, by bothering yourself, by hindering others, by harming yourself, by being compassionate to others, by being happy, by respecting others, by being loved by yourself, by being loved by yourself, by being open to helping others, by being kind. The fragrant and smooth lotus offering incense, whoever is in the wind from thousands of directions has brought the breath of green ocean. My hand holds a loose piece of paper, looking deeply at the leaf on the hill lying still. Who is it? Or in a bird's wing, carrying the longing for my heart far from home? Friends in this place, she is the king, the shadow. Constantly reincarnating, horses, hands under the silent sun, looking at the reunion for many distant generations, so no one is far away from me. Me and the world are not far apart when you carry deep wounds. My soul is willing to ache for you when you show a smile. Feet. I walked leisurely with someone, or a warm, open heart that can embrace all the hearts of the world. Some things happen, and you can only accept them. Some people die. You can only let go of some chosen paths, and then you only have to step forward. Many good things come from waiting, not from fighting for things, so have patience if you don't want to be cowardly with happiness. Enjoy all the big and small things that arise in life, because tomorrow, when you think back, you will realize the truth. They are all very important. Many things have to wait until you return. Become my memories. Only then will we be aware of the value they carry. If we are truly destined, then time or distance are not a problem. If we are unlucky, even if we meet each other, we will each go our own way. Perhaps a person needs to go through many journeys, experience many glory and many hardships to be able to grow up. When you see a person clearly without saying it, you will understand the meaning of forgiveness. Not liking someone without turning your back, you will feel the pinnacle of respect. Being an adult is not about living a long time. Experience many stories because they know when to let go or be tolerant to limit the struggle for each other. Everyone in their hearts has suffered more or less different pains, not because it has passed, so they no longer have feelings, but because they know that talking about it will not solve anything, it will only make themselves weaker. There are wounds that do not mean we don't care, but we understand that we can only silently face them, and we will recover and mature and be able to keep our smile in the process of transforming suffering into happiness, no matter how much life has in the present. Bad things are also needed. Be brave in the face. Don't think about avoiding him. Don't curse and complain, because it's all about growing up. You need to know how to take advantage of it. Music, marry me. I believe that many times a relationship ends, not because we have changed, but because of fate. There are no more endless stories to talk about. Now the warmth that used to be gone is just a story of the past. The feelings are in the past, only in the past. It's not someone who turned on you unintentionally. It's not because we need to withdraw. It's just that between us, there are no longer those kinds of cowardly wishes. Silently, like before, I also believed that every human being has a selfish side and a certain amount of tolerance. A person sheds tears because of concern. A person cares because they have feelings. A person has feelings because they are an emotional and caring person. Having pain and tears proves that you are a complete human being. So if you feel tired, please forgive yourself, because we are just normal people and do not need to act strong and invulnerable. Mortals in human life have no obstacles that cannot be overcome. Everyone has joys and sorrows that need to be conveyed, transforming happiness and sadness. See Facing Birth. Is the past and present life is that you have to choose to understand this morality. You will have your own way to adapt every morning when the sun appears. Remember to remind yourself to live a happy and meaningful day. The first thing is for yourself. In this world, there are only people's hearts that are biased. There is no unfair thing. No need to hold grudges. Don't hold grudges. Just do your best in the present. Everything big and small will slowly recede into the past. No matter how cruel life is, you should always persevere in your efforts. How much will you achieve success? As time goes by, looking back on the journey, you will see that in the vast sea of people, each reunion is a good fate. No matter how long or short a person's life is, what matters is what you can do during the time. Life is very difficult. Remember to let the person next to you feel a little warmth, because every day the other person next to you will become less and less. The time you get to meet them will also become shorter and shorter. In the morning when the sun appears, remember to remind yourself to start a peaceful day. Put joy in your heart and put a smile on your face. Our lips come to this world. Self-Trung only has two big things, Sang, and since one has been completed, there is only one left, so there is no need to rush a part of the road. If you have been going for a long time and cannot see hope, then you should change the direction of a thing after thinking about it a lot, but still cannot untie the knot in your heart. Then you should let go of bad luck. Some people have been around for a long time and still do not feel the sincerity. Then leave a lifestyle that has been applied for a long time but still cannot find joy. Then you should choose a way to change music, to change one's life, only one, whether short or good. Long life every day, every day. Whether sad or happy, each stage of life has its own way of moving forward, backward or human. No one is perfect. Nothing in work is perfect. Meet small-minded people. Don't calculate, because calculating only adds to trouble. Meet complicated things. Don't pay too much attention, because worrying only makes yourself more tired. The world is vast. People's hearts are complicated. How can you not meet small-minded people? Dust and dirt in the depths of the ephemeral world. How can you not encounter trouble? Think moderately, take a quick look. If you've been wronged, just quietly resolve it. Then smiled gently. If there is no sun, listen to the wind blow and watch the rain fall. If there are no fresh flowers, then breathe in the fragrance of the pot. Without the sound of applause, enjoy the quiet alone. Time turns years, months, changes. No resentment. No complaining, no sadness, no mistrust. Keep your heart straight and gently walk on a beautiful path. Appreciate your true feelings. Maintain a positive mood. When you need to restrain yourself, take a deep breath to change the atmosphere. Face the difficulty. Be calm. Think and change your perspective. If you encounter failure, you need to try. Try to do it again to recover. Be confident. Learn to face yourself. Open up to life. Practice forgiving your mistakes so that every day you can use a humble attitude to work with a sincere heart to be a good person. The value of hardships is a lot to know, but how many people can really help you? It doesn't matter how much or how little you know your relatives. Look at how many people see you when you're in trouble. People who eat and drink with you when they don't have work aren't sure they'll help you. Friends need quality. It's not about quantity like potatoes, although quality is important. Full A car can't compare to a bright pearl. I have a cake. If I share half of it with you, it's friendship. If I only eat one piece, then giving it all to you is love. If giving it all to you is a mother's love, like hiding it and telling you I'm hungry is the love of life. A poor man only once will see the person who truly loves him. An ugly woman only once will realize who is the one who never abandons you. Life is miserable only once will you clearly understand who the person who wholeheartedly cares for you is not a companion, because only wealth comes with respect. The important thing is that it's not about beauty that matters. Time can't save property or beauty. It can only be sincerity. Dates can't give rise to feelings or truth. but it can help you see the true and false heart of a person. It doesn't have to be too black and white or too watered down. If you don't judge too much, then there's no B to dispute with your family. Once you've won, the love will also be lost. Calculation with your lover will be clear, then your feelings will also fade and lose with friends. Then love will win. The meaning is no longer there. When arguing, people only focus on reason and forget that what is lost is the feeling. The hurt is yourself. What is black is still black. White is white. It is best to let time prove it. Let go of your own stubbornness. Use tolerance to look at the person considering the matter with a little more enthusiasm, a little calmness and warmth. Then life will always have sunshine, and throughout your life you will be a winner. Life is a process of self-reflection. Don't be greedy or stupid. Don't expect everything to be right. In your opinion, life has no fixed pattern. All you need is a pure and warm heart. When encountering troubles, find your own joy and don't forget happiness. No matter how busy you are, remember to keep a little of your youth. Don't lose your health. If you're tired, then stop and rest. Don't lose the joy of life. As long as you always remember the destination in your heart and know where you are right now, you can rest assured that you won't get lost. Always remind yourself, always respect others and cultivate tolerance. Appreciate the ocean. Only by tolerating 100 rivers can you feel vast, feel free. Click on friends for support, and support thanks to V, we are more resilient. In this life, there are two things we cannot help but do. One is to walk, the other is to stop. Are you using a positive mood to do it? A positive mood is the best companion to help us stay happy and healthy with those close to us or those far away. If we have a relationship, we should know how to give and keep a good relationship, because on weekdays it is not low. Hug the Buddha's feet when in an emergency is useless, so we must know that accumulating human love is like a bank account. The more you send, the longer it takes. Huloi will become taller and encounter problems. So don't be impatient and don't make hasty conclusions, especially when growing up. You have to know how to put yourself in many different positions, especially making things big and small, making things small without being complicated. You should handle things gently and definitely don't make simple things complicated. You need to be aware that most of life's troubles come from useless comparisons. It's easy to have people who are not as good as you. Of course, there are also people you can't suffer when you complain about not being up to it. Beautiful then. Remember the person who has no legs to walk. If your opponent makes you angry, it means you still can't overcome them. Turning your head to see who is scolding you is unnecessary. Just like when you are bitten by a mad dog, you have to bite it back to release your anger. So don't pay too much attention to other people's malicious words. Don't consider work a burden or complain about your frustration. Instead of facing it cheerfully and positively, see work as life as art. You will enjoy the joy it brings. Living another day is a blessing. You should know how to value human life, which is only a few short decades, and you should not do things that make you hold deep regrets. The sun rises from the East Sea and sets over the PH mountain in the west. Sadness also passes. Happy and one day without worrying about useless gossip. Life will be peaceful. The spirit will be light. Life in this world is not because of new hope, perseverance, but because of perseverance there is hope. Not because of opportunity, new opportunities are taken, but because of not letting go, new opportunities appear. Not because of understanding. Knowing leads to work, and through work comes understanding. Know that it is not because of maturity that we take on the burden, but through living responsibly that we truly become mature. It is not because of being rich that we can only become rich by sharing, but by knowing how to share. It is not because of breakthroughs that we have challenges, but because of challenges that create breakthroughs. We do not have to be a leader and then sacrifice, but through sacrifice, we create the right to lead. It is not because we have benefits that we accept it. It is thanks to knowing gratitude that we can enjoy benefits, not because we have money to learn, but because we study hard. Asked to make money of doing to be happy in life, there must be some loss. You don't always receive a response when you give it away. Life always has its own way of operating. The future is always in front of us. We just need to step forward strongly. Give ourselves the wings of freedom to walk through the pain and consequences to be a happy person. Forget the years and don't let time make us old, no matter how old we are. Just feel young in spirit to overcome the temptation of fame and fortune, because they are inherently, it's an alien and common thing that everyone wants to have a little of reputation, a little profit, then compete for it. Then when it doesn't get what you want, you turn to complain that life is not fair to you. In fact, living a simple and normal life is the greatest happiness, and everyone should have a friend. Assets cannot be friends with us for life. Friends sometimes become our assets for life. It's better to have a soulmate. When you feel lonely, you can come to say a few words, but having a true friend is really not easy. You should consider quality in relationships. Friends build a place of refuge within yourself when you encounter troubles. Calm down and give yourself a space to calm your mind. Look at the wildflowers on the side of the road, no matter how small, blooming together to decorate life. The world suddenly becomes more beautiful. Think optimistically. Live a happy life. Maybe we often make the same mistake. Accept someone's kindness. Once we get acquainted, one day they suddenly have a slight mistake. We immediately forget all the remaining good things. People usually remember the good things. Defective flaws and flaws of others like to point out their shortcomings and think that they are not as good as us. So the more we look, the weaker we see that people are. The more we observe, the harder it is to accept the fact that looking at others is like looking in a mirror. If we keep our eyes locked, we will definitely receive unpleasant images from there. Both we and others will feel unhappy. A bit of the other person's clumsiness in our eyes also becomes a big deal when we are dissatisfied. But still having to face it is as uncomfortable as a needle being stabbed in the eye. A chip in the skin has to be plucked. Only then do I feel comfortable remembering my mistakes. People's mistakes are taking their mistakes and punishing yourself, making yourself unhappy and living in discomfort all day long. So remember people's good points against their flaws, be a little tolerant over time, and you'll see that everyone has something worth learning in their hearts. Only things like that. The world will be much more beautiful. Remembering people's good points is much better than remembering their mistakes and holding on to resentment and suffering in your heart. 3 types of human affairs in the world. There are 3 main types of affairs. Most of your own work, for example, today, what to do, what to eat, what to do, how to help those who are happy or sad, it's all up to you to decide. Secondly, other people's things are roughly like this guy is lazy in business, that guy is unhappily married, why does he lie to me? If he helps me, they don't appreciate it. That's what other people do. Music. The third main thing is the work of heaven and earth. Typical things like rain, wind, shopping, lightning, natural disasters, epidemics. These are things that are beyond our human ability. Sadness is mostly due to forgetting what we like to manage ourselves, about other people, and worrying too much about problems. If you want peace and freedom, simply take care of yourself and don't interfere with other people's affairs, and don't interfere with the affairs of heaven and earth. So whenever you feel troubled or insecure, consider, whose business is this? You won't know how to solve it. You can't pursue a life of perfection, no matter how good you are in life. You can't receive everyone's love. No matter how well you live, someone will praise you. No matter how successful you are, people will also criticize you. Bad, there will be fans. If someone hates someone, there will be someone who is jealous. There must be someone who doesn't value you. Life is like that. You can't please everyone, so don't lose your nature to please others. Everyone needs to have their own principles and self-respect. We, through the mouths of others, are not a whole person, but there are many different versions. You just need to be a good friend. Being good is enough, because people have the same eyes but different perspectives, the same mouth, but each person has a different way of speaking. The heart is similar. Dong. But the thinking is very strange. The difference between money and wealth is the same, but each person's way of spending is different. Appreciation of right and wrong, good and bad, is due to different stances, different circumstances, different perspectives. We are also human, but each individual has a way of life. We need to confidently walk on our own feet. The big table has no cheers and flies with wings. The grass doesn't need anyone to take care of us. We know ourselves. We grow up with flowers in the mountains, even though no one enjoys them. They still radiate a fragrant fragrance. Work without needing anyone. Everyone understands. Just give your heart and soul to be a human. Everyone needs to be loved. Just be straightforward and generous. Flowers come in hundreds of shapes and forms, but they can still show off their beauty and fragrance without being hindered. Living in life, everyone has their own style. Why don't you lift each other up and bring each other down? If you feel worthy, cherish happiness. Protect the people who make you happy. Be close and touching love. If you say it's easy, it's not necessarily easy to move thousands of hearts or manage people's tongues. Of course, it's not easy to be a person. It's not easy to say it's hard. It's not necessarily difficult. Just keep an honest heart. Is a gentle person, then go your own way. That's enough. A life is not really long. After all, you've come here, so you should live a little beautifully. In life, there are many things that don't always follow your wishes to be good. The sun isn't because you're not happy, but tomorrow morning won't be MC. The moonlight won't be because of you, but at the end of the night not being quiet, my eyes won't be quiet. That doesn't mean the world will turn into a dark night. My mind will dim everyone's eyes. It's not certain that the light will belong to me. In this world, the wine hammer isn't sharp enough. There are plants and trees. There is no way to cut down work. Only people have not thought of a method. Absolutely nothing is impossible. If people want to think of a way, otherwise they will find a reason. Life is like a glass of water, whether hot or fresh. At the right temperature, you can drink. The flavor, whether sweet or bitter, as long as it suits your taste, it's delicious. Cashew leather, whether it's fast or slow, whether it's suitable for your hearing or the four seasons, if it suits your heart, is good. Everything that suits you is happiness. Everyone's happiness in life has two paths. Using your mind to experience is called a dream, or using your feet to walk is called true wisdom. If your heart doesn't have time to realize reality, your feet will fade away. Your steps will be too slow. Your dreams will fly far away in this world. The most unpleasant thing is to know that the person you love has fallen in love with someone else, but is still stupidly in love. Meetings and separations all have certain predestined conditions to follow. Being at peace is the best thing when someone is by your side. If we can make them see that unlack is already great success at a young age, and happiness is a very simple thing. When you grow up, you can live simply. That's the happiness. Don't come here in vain. Do what you want to do and love what you want in life. It's because of too much expectation that you're disappointed, and your dreams are so far away that they're destroyed. There's so much stored up that it's hard to confess. Some people can't forget because they didn't bloom. Others must forget because they're not memorable. Don't trust your eyes too much, because sometimes what you see is what you want, and what you don't like has been overlooked. Actually, the person who is misunderstood is not at all. What's the loss? Those who look down on others are truly lost opportunities. We all think we control this life and forget. Life requires the cooperation of many people. Don't lose the long-term future because of immediate gain. Remember what you have. Thanks to the sacrifices of others, it will never last. Life is very short. There is no time for regrets. Don't be too concerned with people or things that make you sad, even for just a minute. If you don't have the final result, smile and be strong. Feet forward. Before you meet, remember to give the people around you a little warmth in the rain and wind of life. Give yourself a little optimism. If you know how to love life well and harmonize everything, gradually joy and happiness will spread far and wide. Life is not a race, but a trip. The important race is at the destination. As for traveling, you need to pay attention to the scenery along the road. If you are in a good mood, the scenery will be more beautiful, no matter how many difficulties you encounter today. Firmly believe that yesterday is the only day that cannot come back. Tomorrow for sure life will be like a bus ride towards your destiny. No one can go with you on the whole journey, including your family and friends. If you are lucky enough to have someone to go with you, when they have to say goodbye and get off the bus, even if they can't bear to get off the bus, they should still be grateful and wave goodbye, because at the next stop, there will definitely be someone else accompanying you. Whether the coffee is bitter or sweet is because you added sugar or salt. A pain does not depend on how to forget, but depends on whether you have enough courage to go through. Whether to come up with something new or not, human life is like a cup of tea. When you first drink it, you will feel bitter. But that's not all. After going through the bitterness, you will feel the gentle sweetness. The reason we are tired is because we are hesitant between perseverance and letting go. Sometimes we understand, but in our hearts, we do not want to accept the truth that entering your life is controlled by karma. But sticking together for a long time or leaving hastily is due to your own decision to not explain. If you like, you will be gentle and not persistent, then you will be open. And if you are not perfect, then life is not to blame. Don't blame yourself. Other people don't laugh at you. No one needs to admire them. The sun shines. We keep warm. If the wind and rain rise, find a shelter and follow your dream. Go the path you choose. The world will be peaceful. Don't criticize other people's good or bad because they have no effect on your food. Don't discuss other people's morality because it's not necessarily true that you are superior to them. Don't judge other people's families because it has nothing to do with you. Don't judge other people's education because in this world, what everyone lacks is knowledge. Don't waste your money because you have it. Maybe tomorrow you will be unemployed. Don't complain about being arrogant because maybe in the future you will lose. Don't prove yourself too much. Know that in this world, no one is completely inferior. Be a little humble and don't rely too much on others because in this life, everyone has many things to worry about. In their free time, they just want to rest. Don't do work that harms others because sooner or later, retribution will come to you. Never waste time admiring other people's lives, no matter how rich or prosperous they are. Comment on whether someone is happy, whether or not people seem to be lonely. Having no relatives because happiness is like whether drinking hot water is good or not. Each person feels it for himself. Don't comment on anyone's personality because that is their personal matter. The negligence of others that you see is a defect in your own cultivation process. A letter to the children. When their parents are old and weak, everyone hopes that they will not be abandoned by the dragon's descendants, because that is when my parents need people by their side the most. As well as the children when they were young, their parents took care of them attentively. Every time. When parents are old and weak, their limbs often shake when they eat and drink, and they drop them. Pouring rice and soup. I hope you don't mind. Please accept the complaint a little because when you were young, you often dragged food on your clothes like that when your parents were old and weak. Even if they walked haphazardly, it was difficult for them to walk. But sometimes they also want to go out and bask in the sun. Just like when they were children, they liked to be pushed by their parents to get some fresh air every day. When their parents are old, they talk and sometimes forget what they were talking about, so repeat from the beginning to make sure. Give your parents a little bit. Time to finish the story. Actually, it doesn't matter what our parents say. What we want is for someone to listen to our children when our parents are old. If at night we repeat what we said many times in the morning, we hope our children will not be so quick to interrupt us like when we were young and always asked. Parents tell us the same story over and over every time we go to bed. Even though our parents are old and weak, we still can't ignore it when we see our children encountering difficulties, but will teach us how to handle the problem like when we were young. Open your heart and sympathize with your children, because that's just our habit of protecting our children. Long-time parents, when parents no longer have the opportunity to complain, the moment you close your eyes and give up, remember not to struggle. Crying in this world, there is a death as light as a dragon, but there is also a departure as heavy as a mountain of stone. If you are truly a filial son, there is no need to show sadness in front of the eternal soul, because when your parents were still alive, you did everything you needed to do. There is nothing to regret anymore. When your parents leave, they will bring with them your filial heart. They will bring peace and blessings to you from the next world. Old people are like that, busy for a lifetime. They only want their children and grandchildren to acknowledge them. Have a little fun, don't look upset. They need us. Everyone will grow old and weak, just like our grandparents and parents. So when you are young, remember to treat your elders with a little bit of heart. Happiness is in the name of your parents. Parents and family are a safe place for you to return to every night and rest assured to sleep every morning. When you walk in the door and the person who called your parents is close, you will feel warm and feel like you have come home. Parents also mean eternal love in the world. There are still career failures, can do it again, but the time spent with parents is over. We can't turn back. So while our parents are still healthy, we should take care of them wholeheartedly so that we don't have to regret in the later days of our parents' lives. Old age is still far away from us. We still have time to turn our dreams into reality. The path under our feet is still open. We still have people to show respect. Filial piety still has a place to turn. We can still be children. Nurturing will never grow up to feel the boundless love of our parents. We are still family. The family still has love and a place to lean on to return, no matter how much rain or wind outside, how hard or tired. The family is still a peaceful and tolerant place to welcome the children back to find themselves truly happy. Enjoy and cherish the happiness called parents and children. Happiness is to feel, not to show. Life is to experience, not to try to trust. Love is to connect, not to test. Parents are to hear to one, not to demand from friends, not to compare with relatives. Is to care, not to hurt money. Is for spending, not for measuring fame. Is for dedication, not for showing off material. Is for using, not for showing off. Trust is for certainty, not for pressure. Forgiveness and trust. When someone intentionally hurts you, forgive them. But never put your trust in that again, because forgiving someone is forgetting yourself. But if you continue to blindly trust, is giving others more opportunities to hurt you. We should believe everyone can correct mistakes. But let's give up. Life proves that. Even if life has 1,000 reasons to worry about sadness, you should still find one story that makes you happy no matter how sad the world is. What you need to do is just keep a light heart, ignore all the people and things that are not as you wish. Live with your will if you know how to take care of yourself and don't rely on others. Just persevere and move forward. Surely you will see the light and warmth on the road ahead when feelings fade. Let's spend our whole life. I can't say I only love someone. But definitely, there will be a person who makes us smile the brightest and cry the most bitterly and miss the most. Buy things and don't need to compare prices. Eat them and then regret them. If you love something, don't doubt it and then leave it. Don't sow resentment. The saint loves the wrong person. It's like choosing a pair of shoes that don't fit. When you put them on, your feet hurt and you can't walk away. But because of that little bit of incompetence, it hurts all the way behind you. It's not worth someone who can't even control their own emotions. Even if you give them everything, the world will sooner or later be destroyed. The saddest thing about breaking up in life is being close and then becoming distant again, being too serious and receiving pain because of trust and being taken advantage of by the person at first. Being close and sad turns into emotional indifference. It's like holding sand in your hand. The tighter you squeeze it, the faster the sand flows. People sometimes miss the past, not because it's so beautiful, but because they can't come back again. But if we could go back, would there be anything else? So life needs to look straight ahead. If we can't find a reason to keep persevering, remember your motivation. Make yourself choose and start like that. Life will be much simpler in this world. There is no person who can't leave or no wound that can't be healed. It's just a matter of whether we can bear it or not. Being your companion doesn't mean that when needed, they will appear. Someone who cares for you, not because they don't have anything to worry about. Emotions, no matter how deep, can't accept neglect. No matter how enthusiastic your heart is, it can't stand the healing. Don't wait for someone to turn around. New back. Startled to wake up. Don't waiting until your heart is hurt to rush to make up for it. The vast world of predestined encounters is not easy. A small heart that can accommodate you is a miracle. So knowing how to preserve love does not happen overnight. It is not formed in a second or a minute, but it can be destroyed in the hearts of people. Gradually, strangers, new feelings slowly fade in the eyes of people who don't have your image lingering in their hearts. What should they do? There is no place left for you to think about. People with self-respect, don't let yourself be rubbed. The mind has feelings, so it knows how to calm down. Listening to feelings is not something one person can keep. Without a companion, it will be a burden. We are alone in the midst of the wind and rain of this present life. The future cannot be any different. So know how to help yourself. Put it down and move forward. You will see tomorrow in comfort. Gently go through the troubles of life. Life is not a battlefield, so there is no need to determine victory or defeat between people. If sympathy increases, misunderstandings will decrease between work and work. If giving in is increased, then struggle will decrease. There are some things that need to be patient. Some people need to give in. We can't fight low, high. We don't have to beg for anyone's approval and understanding because everyone has their own opinion and personality. We often take ourselves too seriously to worry about gain or loss and think that others don't understand us. In fact, as a human being, we need to learn to take it easy on ourselves, reduce our ego a little and put ourselves in other people's shoes, to think that life will be much cuter, so we say more open up. What comes out is happiness. The happier you are, the more tolerant you will be, the more you will receive. Don't discuss things behind other people's backs. Don't pay too much attention to rumors about you because a useless person has nothing to say. The more excellent you are, the more people will be noticed and criticized. Waiting to admit mistakes is a form of honesty. Ignoring is a form of style. If you send honestly and don't receive good manners, it shows that the other person is somewhat mediocre and vulgar. Other people's tongues. We can't control. The easiest thing is to keep a picture for ourselves. Feel relieved and step through life's troubles. Throw away the burden of worry and enjoy life. Half of it has to be alert. The rest sometimes requires a little bit of silliness. Sometimes you don't need to be too clear-cut because there are things you see clearly but don't want to do. There are people who understand and then don't want to associate. In fact, deep in the soul, each problem has a kumquat root. Sometimes, for the rest of your life, other people can't share. All difficulties and obstacles have to be accepted alone and then silently resolved. But no matter what happens, don't let us be upset all day long because we don't know how much joy there will be tomorrow, waiting for you to experience, how many roads waiting for you to walk, and how many doors need you to work hard. Whether happy or sad is Tran. Whether it's bitter or sweet is life. No matter how painful it is to get some sleep and wake up putting everything in the past all day long, remember to think about yesterday only makes you more tired. That's what other people think. I can't know what others do, and I can't control. The only thing I can do is to do my best, do a good job of yourself, follow the path you have chosen, and live your own life well. Tell yourself to think far away. Live in life when there are advantages. Remember not to devote all to yourself. The benefits and things of your life will not be enough to know enough. So stop even if you have a reason. Do not pursue people to the same worldly reason. Even if you argue for 1,000 years, you will not be able to end it. Even if you achieve victory, you will also lose your gentle meditation. Even if you have outstanding talent, never mock others. Compare people with others. It is easy to hurt each other. Comparing things with things easily leads to work. You have to give up something as a human being. If you act too wise around people, you will become suspicious. If you are too perfectionist, you will easily get angry. If you are too arrogant, you will be shunned by others. Thinking too much will cause trouble. Paying too much attention to detail will only obsess yourself, and pursue too much, which will make you tired. Only when you feel happy in your heart, the days will be free, your body and mind will be free, and you will see that life is worth living. No matter how bad your mood is, remember not to write L-face because no one wants to read it. No matter how tiring you are, don't blame yourself for letting someone else do it. Even if you are poor and miserable, don't complain about hardship because no one gives you money for no reason. Even if you're disappointed, don't give up. Think about the expectations of your parents and relatives. Keep trying. Even if you're depressed, don't give up because the problem isn't your job. It's about you. Appreciate each choice you make. Even if it's difficult, don't complain, because everyone has their own things that can't help you forever. So be strong and enjoy what you're doing. Even if you get frustrated, don't be pessimistic, but lost the will because no one was born. You can solve all problems right away, but you have to try your best with each task. Don't rush to think you're alone. In fact, very few people understand what you read. There are relatives and friends who have never experienced it. Dong said that life is lonely. Where does it come from? When you're sad or tired, you should know how to comfort yourself. If there's no one to worry, you have to be strong. There's no one to help. The flying bird without anyone to admire it also needs to be fragrant and neat. Look at the grass under your feet, the flowers on the roadside and the leaves above. Although the tree of life is humble, it lives a bright life. The beauty of life, even if it is impermanent and short, should not be underestimated by money, because no one can buy good health. If you have time, you should look at the rivers and mountains to trust and relax your spirit. Don't be too harsh on the things around you, because everything that exists has its own reasons. Don't comment on others, especially people you don't understand. We only have the right to give opinions to the people we love. When we're angry, we shouldn't talk, because then we often regret the words we accidentally uttered. We should forgive others. Used to hurt me, but definitely don't give them the chance to repeat the same mistake. Even though life is hard and tiring, don't lose your confidence, because beautiful things are ahead. Quality, whether noble or extremely corrupt, remember to treat your parents with filial piety, because tomorrow you will definitely become old and weak. Don't forget the people who helped you. Don't hate the person you once loved. Never deceive the person who gave you trust. Between people, it can be close or far between things. It can be complicated. It can be simple. Between feelings and emotions, each other can be deep or shallow. If you want people to treat you special, you shouldn't hope that they will have less confidence in life. There are people who talk less and do more. There are also people who will only know how to wave their arms and legs. Don't be too concerned, just manage your own affairs well. Do what needs to be done. Follow the path you should follow. Maintain honesty, cultivate sincerity, and use with others. Be strict with yourself. For the rest, following the cause is what Buddha once said to the unlucky person. No matter how many words you say, it's superfluous. If you have a destiny, just show up. You can also awaken all senses. In their view, some things are both black and white and have become the past. Some people are angry for a few days and have become a thing of the past. There are moderate pains. CDAN-TH. The country has situations whereby enduring a little pain, one becomes resilient. Sometimes today is a big thing. Tomorrow, looking back, it's insignificant. This year, next year's important things will become secondary. Great things in this life and the next, people consider them legends. Each of us is at most just the story of one person. So in life or work, if you encounter something unsatisfactory, tell yourself today will pass. Tomorrow will come. Let go of everything to start a new day in the world. There are some things that you don't have to pay attention to, but if you pay attention, you can't do anything. Life doesn't exist if there are only consequences. How you accept your life is up to you. You choose others. You can't decide. When you grow up, you will know how to face everything with a smile. Suddenly one day, I realized that caring too much for someone will hurt myself. Suddenly, one day I realized, love is something that can only be met without I can find many things in one day. I realized that there are many things that can only be grasped once. If you let go, you will lose forever. If you expect too much, you will easily be disappointed. If you elaborate too much on a feeling, it will make you tired. If you wait too long, you will feel pain. In fact, in life, there is no difficulty that cannot be overcome. In life, there is no person that cannot be let go. If you are not cherished and no longer meaningful, you must know that if you turn away, you can fall. Tears may be heartbreaking, but absolutely don't despair, because today's tears will be growth tomorrow. Each scar will become the strength for you to persevere on the road ahead. If you have ever made the mistake of only caring for the person you love, from now on, cherish those who care for you. Think about the day you lose everything and become empty-handed. Who can stay and say it's okay, I'm still here? Someone is family, friends, or simply just a random passerby. Sometimes we consider others too important, the outcome in their eyes. It's nothing but happiness. One day I asked my heart what happiness is. My heart tells my body to be healthy. Peace of mind is happiness. My body is healthy. How can I make my mind peaceful? My heart speaks up. My mind is entangled in too many things that are not free. Of course I can't feel peace. I reasoned about living in this world. How can I live without being entangled in poverty? If the mind is not a slave to the form that is freedom, freedom will be free and self-reliant. I don't understand the mind. It is inside the form. How can it not be dependent on the mind? The mind is the place to be. Every feeling of life must be sweet. If tasted, life can smile and walk through without being caught in the eye. I ask again, how to be gentle. Like that I hear the sound of fame and fortune, gain and loss, like a swinging bridge. If I can't see it, then I want more. If the mind is stable and stable, there's no need to be tired of chasing the east wind with its sudden ups and downs. I wonder if my mind is big or the world is bigger than my heart. I answer the vastness of heaven and earth or the smallness of life. It's all because of the mind that we feel that we are present. Then everything reacts. Through the mind, beauty and ugliness appear accordingly. From here it becomes, I wonder. So where are we going in this life? Compassion. Each person's life is a bridge. The only difference is in the direction. Are you looking out from the chaos or looking back to the true heart of tranquility?